My granddaughter boarded my jet to Aspen, but when I arrived, she had never returned. This shocking event shattered what I had always believed, that wealth granted power. Over $4 billion can open doors, but it also obscures shadows. Shadows I had ignored for far too long, lurking just beyond the glow of my opulent life. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Eleanor Sinclair, and I am the architect of Sinclair Holdings, a conglomerate flourishing in technology, real estate, and luxury goods. From humble beginnings, I crafted this empire through hard work, cunning, and a relentless pursuit of success. As I sit in my opulent Manhattan penthouse, I find solace in the sprawling view stretching across the skyline. From this balcony, I've witnessed the dawn of my dreams, the fruits of years of labor materializing into a world where my wishes seem to have limitless boundaries. However, a gnawing sense of discontent cultivates conflict within me, a contradiction against the backdrop of my success. I was the first in my family to graduate college, transforming from the daughter of a single mom scraping by to a matriarch of a legacy. I built a fortress from grit and ambition, brick by painstaking brick. Yet, I never imagined my own flesh and blood could betray me, nor that those closest to me might be entangled in webs of deception I had failed to see. The day began like any other, cloaked in the promise of opportunity, sunlight bathing the city in a golden hue, intercepted only by the shadows of my worries. My granddaughter, Olivia, was blossoming into a bright and ambitious young woman. At just 20, the world lay temptingly at her feet, brimming with potential and vigor, all waiting to be claimed. To encourage her aspirations, to ignite her adventurous spirit, I gifted her a weekend escape to Aspen, a cherished refuge of my own, a tranquil haven where the sun-soaked slopes stood as reminders of simpler, more innocent times, memories of laughter echoing through the trees. My private jet, adorned with sumptuous leather seats, polished silver accents, and crystal flutes glinting with champagne, stood ready to whisk her away. Little did I know, it would tragically become the last time I would see her, the last echoes of her laughter fading into the mountains. As I arrived in Aspen a few hours later, my heart raced with anticipation, each beat a reminder of our special bond, a connection forged in countless shared moments that molded our relationship. I envisioned us nestled together by the Grand Lodge's fireplace, sharing stories and laughter amid the breathtaking slopes shimmering with fresh snow, the scent of pine wrapping around us like a comforting embrace. However, as I approached the immense and splendid lodge, a heavy dread nipped at my heels, as palpable as the crisp mountain air swirling around me. I scanned the crowd, desperate to catch a glimpse of Olivia, huddled with a mug of cocoa, her face gleaming with uncluttered joy. Confusion washed over me instead, met with furtive whispers and glances from the other patrons milling about like ominous shadows, their eyes averted, silently judging. "Where's Olivia?" I pressed, steadying myself with the brittle confidence refined over years atop society's ladder. I expected answers, reassurances that would banish my nagging anxiety. But instead, they shrugged, their expressions a mosaic of indifference draped in faux concern, further fraying my already fragile nerves. My fingers flew to her name on my phone, but the haunting news was disheartening. Her last location pinged miles away, at some club I'd never heard of, far removed from the snug embrace of the lodge, a world I could not penetrate. Hours stretched on, morphing into chaotic snippets of time as tension brewed within my chest like a tempest of uncertainty. My worries escalated into frenzied panic. In my decades of career success, I had become accustomed to unerring answers in boardrooms, ironclad deals, relentless negotiations. But this felt like a disbanded jigsaw puzzle, pieces slipping through my fingers like sand through an hourglass. My heart raced. Was she in danger? The question loomed larger with every passing moment. I reached out to every contact within my extensive network, rifling through her phone in sheer desperation trying to locate her, yet no one had seen her, a notion unsettling enough to scramble my mind. Then came the chilling realization. Trust was a luxury I could no longer afford, and I could trust no one, not even the whispers of comfort that echoed in my own thoughts. Desperation clawed at my throat, each frantic breath heavy with anxiety, as the very air seemed to weigh down upon my spirit, creating a whirlwind of trepidation. I dashed back towards my jet, urgently summoning my trusted security team, men and women hand-picked for my safety and my family's protection, those trained to navigate both the nuances of privilege and the lurking dangers threatening our luxurious world. Their discreet investigation heightened my worries. Given my elite reputation, discretion muted the stakes, deepening the shadows around me. Hours crumpled into an unbearable stretch of eternity, each moment a painful reminder of my helplessness. Their findings culminated in a document heavier than gold. A formal alert from the Aspen police regarding a missing person bearing Olivia's name, alongside others with similar fates. My heart hollowed as I realized the harrowing reality that accompanied this news, an ominous weight pressing down on my every thought. I often scouted potential regrets, recognizing deals that projected virtue but hid deception beneath glimmering surfaces. Yet as the stark misfortune gripped me, I felt the air hitch painfully in my throat. I had been blindingly oblivious to the very shadows enveloping my life, shadows that pulsed with ill intent, waiting patiently to unfurl their sinister designs. When night draped over the mountains, my thoughts spiraled, coiling tightly around my heart. Anger blended with despair, a potent cocktail of emotions awash with the bitter taste of betrayal. I had bestowed upon Olivia the privileges of my wealth, private schools, exclusive summer camps, connections steeped in New York high society, friendships fostering power and influence. Yet none of it seemed to matter in this moment of crisis. I grasped my life for what it had always been, a delicate chess game of trust and manipulation, where I had overlooked a critical check on the board, a game whose stakes held the fate of my family in a precarious balance. Each dollar amassed seemed like armor, my shield against the tempest of the outside world. Yet I never contemplated that betrayal could arise from someone I loved most dearly. A ticking bomb, a realization struck me. Perhaps I was more naive than I cared to admit. As dawn broke after a night filled with sleepless hours and unquenched anxiety, an urgent buzz clamored from my phone, disrupting the heavy silence of a restless night. A message. "I'm fine." Those two words pulled me taut, each syllable resonating with a depth of complexity. I read them repeatedly, anger twisted into palpable relief, yet doubt gripped tightly around my heart. Who had sent it? Was it truly Olivia reaching out to calm me? Or was someone toying cruelly with my emotions, scripting this disjointed narrative? I called upon everyone again. Legal advisors and detectives readied themselves for action, ushering in the hope that maybe, just maybe, I was reaching for the truth hidden beneath layers of deception. The desire to discover her whereabouts surged within me, simmering with an urgency that could not be stifled. It was time for a revelation, a confrontation with the reality that could change everything. I decided to visit the club where she supposedly spent. The prior night, an urgent decision spurred not by mere desperation, but by a ferocious determination to uncover the truth behind this nebulous situation. With authorities temporarily sidelined, I could act freely, driven by an instinctive need to protect her. Armed with my reputation as a shield, I strode into the opulent establishment perched high above the mountains, the intoxicating scent of power trailing behind me, mingling with relentless curiosity and primal fear. Inside, blaring music engulfed me. Each beat resonated with the frantic rhythm of my heart, pounding loudly in the chaos of the vibrant space. Young bodies writhed beneath mesmerizing strobe lights, and amidst the chaos, a crowd of vibrant hues, I spotted her. My heartbeat quickened as I honed in on Olivia, seemingly unfazed by my presence, laughing amidst a cadre of strangers, the intoxication of recklessness flourishing within her. She was living in a joyful bubble, unperturbed by the storm brewing in my heart. "Olivia," I called out, my voice arching in panic through the overwhelming cacophony. She turned, those startled eyes locking onto mine. In that moment, a frozen eternity, time ceased in that pulsating crimson abyss. The vibrant scene stood in stark contrast to the silence of betrayal drenching my very existence. When she approached, confusion melted away, and a twisted smile broke across her face, revealing a glimpse of inexplicable freedom shimmering behind her eyes. My instinct wanted to wrap her tightly in my arms, to shake some sense into her, to demand clarity on how she could put me through such agony. Instead, she flitted towards me like a butterfly, carefree and unguarded. "Grandma, you worry too much. I'm fine. Look." Her frivolity, however, draped over an underlying darkness, a veil of unspoken tension weaving through our shared space like a creeping fog. While I had long believed that wealth could ensure her safety, this debacle swiftly discarded that comforting illusion. It burdened her beneath the weight of unreasonable expectations, creating an environment ripe for manipulation and perilous threats. As she reveled in tales of parties and friends, my vision blurred with consuming rage tinged with bitter disappointment. It felt as though I was losing her to a world I could never fully control. A world that could swallow her whole, like a monstrous abyss. "Olivia, the difference between winning and losing is that line you draw in the sand," I stated, forcing a steady tone that still wavered, my voice cracking slightly, refusing to expose my vulnerability. "Trust is paramount." A flicker of understanding ignited in her eyes, a possibility lighting within her that perhaps she grasped the fragility of our family ties, overwhelming yet vital connections that demanded nurturing to survive. Later, amidst the unfolding turmoil that now framed our lives, I stumbled upon a hidden truth, a ruse bubbling beneath the surface, shadowing my life with treachery that felt both alien and achingly familiar. Documents emerged detailing a concealed financial dispute over my empire, a thunderous revelation. Someone had siphoned millions via forged signatures, routing funds into accounts I had never sanctioned. Olivia had become an unwitting pawn in a grander scheme, enveloped in the chaos of a game far larger than her comprehension. Lawyers went to war, overseeing an extensive internal investigation into my company's finances. Financial figures trickled in from my trusted advisors, revealing a shocking truth. Over $125 million had vanished without my awareness, a betrayal colder than the icy peaks surrounding Aspen. This chilling reality shattered my constructed world, illuminating the shadows I had so carelessly ignored. A once loyal ally, a trusted confidant and advisor, had preyed upon my family, cloaking their unscrupulous machinations behind a facade of loyalty, a mask concealing the venomous intentions that had long lain dormant. As the betrayal struck deep into my heart, Olivia's presence became a mere echo amid the burgeoning chaos. Legal battles unfolded like a dramatic play, exposing an unspooled tapestry of familial bonds fraying beyond recognition. As I sat in my lavish office, festooned with treasures amassed over the years, I grasped the fleeting pulse of power. It felt more like a burden than a gift, heavy and suffocating, as cumbersome as the diamond-encrusted watch clasped upon my wrist. Trust is finite, like a finely aged wine, carefully nurtured over time. It can cultivate friendship and camaraderie, can mature and flourish, yet spoil with the mere twist of fate. Today, through the ashes of betrayal, I remain steadfast, working tirelessly to rebuild alliances with a resolution born from my trials. I've learned the harshest of lessons, that wealth devoid of loyalty is but a fragile facade, easily dismantled by those who lurk within the shadows, waiting for the opportune moment to strike. As I continue my visits to Aspen, it is no longer to immerse myself in the lavish parties or glamorous social events that once enlivened my spirit. Instead, I seek silent reflection amidst the serene landscape, paying homage to that which is genuinely sacred: my family and the bonds we forge anew through shared experiences, resilience, and a commitment to truly cherish one another against the haunting realization of what we could lose. What impact truly remains once you possess everything? Wealth can buy time, but it cannot purchase love. Family, trust, loyalty, these assets surpass all my billions. They echo as the true worth of my life's endeavors, the real currency of the legacy I seek to build. Now, as I sit in my peaceful office, gazing out at the twinkling city lights reflecting past choices, I ponder. How do we truly safeguard those we cherish? How do we shield ourselves against hidden threats lurking behind all that glitters? In the end, I invite you all to reflect on this vital thought. At what price are our relationships forged, and how delicately do we shape the legacy we leave behind? The answers may be buried deep among the shadows of our lives, waiting for us to uncover the truths we so frequently choose to ignore. It is up to us to confront those elusive truths, reshaping our destinies one decision at a time, one heartbeat at a time, in this profound journey of life.